We are just chilling here and talking about healthy habits that we want to create and cultivate and just incorporate as part of our lives to ensure we have a more fulfilling and a fun kind of lifestyle. So guys, this is Hope in 2021, who has always wanted to learn to do crafty things. My inclination towards my personality is not doing handsy stuff. I prefer, even my personality is just sitting, talking, being loud, jumping, but not practical things. But then I wanted to start this year to learn how to crochet with yarn. But this is something that I've wanted to do since last year. In fact, the year before that. I've always been telling myself, Hope, you will start crocheting after this semester ends. You will start till date. This is 3 years down the line. I haven't started crocheting yet, but I really want to, and I think I will probably make a very active step towards learning how to crochet and get people to teach me how to learn to do that, to use yarn and crochet. So Mark, what are you looking forward to doing? What are you looking forward to doing this year?
This year, this year I want to learn how to bake.
You want to learn how to bake?
Bake.
That is new.
Yeah. I mean, it's not very common for guys to want to learn how to bake and stuff. Let me put this as a disclaimer. I don't like cooking. I'm sorry for my future wife, but I don't like cooking.
Well, we are too in that sector. I know coming from a lady, it's frowned upon, but I also do not like
sorry for your future husband. But yeah, I don't like cooking, but there's something interesting. And this is something I've desired for the last 7 years. Now that's a problem.
7 years.
That's a problem.
A journey.
Yeah, because I've been like, okay, this year I need to learn how to bake. The next year I need to learn how to bake. But this year I feel more intentional about it. I just feel like I just want to, and not even to bake commercially or anything, but to just bake for myself or for my family. And even for my kids when I get them, God willing. So,
future dad.
Yeah, when not only will they see dad just grilling a kanyama mali, but also someone who can also bake once in a while. And yeah, for me, I would really love to just actually learn how to bake. Now, I do not have an idea how I'm going to start because when I just look at my schedule, I'm like, what? Where am I going to fix in even a class? But I think, I personally think that's just an excuse. I always feel especially if you want something, you can create, especially if it's important and if it's a priority, you can always find time. So I want to find time this year. If I come back on the show next year, ask me again.
I will definitely hold you to account today.
Yeah.
Keisha?
For me, it will definitely be increasing my cooking skills. I was like you. I used to hate cooking. The thought of cooking, I'm like, why? Why? I want to eat, but I don't want to cook, Yeah. But we thank God for COVID. In as much as it was bad, it came with its upside because that is when I got into it and I really do enjoy it. Funny enough, I figured out I really do enjoy my time in the kitchen as long as I'm not cooking under pressure. I have decided I want to at my own pace and what I want to cook, Yeah, and it's really fun because there's a lot of creativity that goes with it, and I figured out cooking is all about you trying out new things.
But doesn't it bother you afterwards, the mess and having to do all those dishes afterwards with the cooking? Because to be honest, that's my thought process afterwards. I'm like, I don't even want to cook so many dishes because I am counting the number of cooking pots afterwards and the plates afterwards. And I'm like, you know what? A snack is fine.
Yeah, must. Well, when it reaches to dishes, I'm like, we'll deal with that later. Let's first enjoy the food. If it's talking to my sister to do the dishes, we'll do that. But let's focus on the food, Yeah. So I'd want to increase that. Something else I'd want to work on is my reading. I didn't mention it when you asked about the things the habits we've struggled with. Yes. I am so inconsistent in my reading. My God, I can read a book for months, because I'm those people of, I'm in chapter 4, but I feel like I didn't really internalize chapter 2 and chapter 3. So let's start again. So that's how we read one book for 6 months.
Well, that is interesting because I actually thought that people who spend so much time reading a book, it's because either at some point you got there and you just did not feel like it, you did not feel the book anymore, so you threw it back to the shelf, and you will probably remember it some months afterwards and be like, oh, by the way, there was a book I didn't finish. That's what I thought. I didn't think that some people get to a point and they feel like, no, I do not understand this plot, let me go back. That is quite new for me.
I think for me, I'd say reading, but I think the one thing I've been trying to do is programming. It's something that's needed in our field, and I just didn't know. So I had to start from scratch, all by my own. So far so good. I'm looking to improve, and also things like focus. Like when I sit down to do my work, I just stay there.
And to be able to program, is it something that you teach yourself? Is it something self-taught, or you actually had to go and look for a course, an extra course, to be able to learn it?
I had to look for an extra course online so that I'm guided in doing it. It's quite hard. It's quite hard. So you have to, you have to, you have to walk step by step and understand everything, because it's very, there are sections, there are, algorithms and all these things. So you have to understand each and every one of them, and then now you're able to apply them where they're needed. But I think this one thing I've done during COVID, just trying to improve it, focus.
Is to focus.
Not being distracted. And we know how much our phones are so at fault for this.
Distraction as much as they are blessing.
The moment you hear a text, your focus is shifted. So I think it's one thing, it's very simple. It sounds like, is that really a skill? But I think it's very vital when you're trying to be very productive, so that when you do something, you don't keep repeating it.
You don't keep on
it brings the aspect of being effective in everything you focus on. So if it's workout, it's workout. If it's reading, it's reading. If it's talking to my friends or going out, I'm invested in it, so I'm not divided.
You're not divided.
Yeah.
Wow. Focus, diligence, and discipline to be able to do it, and also motivation. Some of the key things to cultivating healthy habits. Now, guys, very interestingly, I have a bucket list. I have a bucket list of some of the things I want to do before I get old. And one of the things I want to do is walk on a glass bridge. I want to do skydiving. I want to do bungee jumping. I also want to do zip lining. These are some of the things that I've always been telling myself I want to do, but I've always been postponing. One is either because I start looking at the logistics of heading to where I can be able to do those things. I get tired, to be honest. I like staying in the house, but these are some of the things that I would want to do. These are some of the exciting things that are on my bucket list, and things that I would want before I die. I'd say that I would want to do. What are some of those things, crazy and wildest things, that you guys would want to do? Keisha?
Funny enough, all those things you have mentioned on your list are on my list. Skydiving, bungee jumping, zip lining, water rafting. Oh my goodness. Yes.
So is it stemming from adrenaline rush, or just the adventure of at least having to say that, I did this once in my life?
The thought of you are jumping from a plane down, it's so exciting, the whole feeling, like how does it feel? Yes.
Mark, you seem to be very concerned about that. I don't know. Would you consider doing bungee jumping?
Now it's interesting, because there's a time I was like, hey, I think a number of years ago, I told my friends, you know what? I think this bungee jumping thing is cool. And I think it's something that can be done. Hey. A few years ago, I'm like, wait, I'm on 14th floor, I'm like, wait, what?
No.
No.
I cannot do this.
No, I can't, but it would be one of those interesting things as well. I just feel like your heart is going with you, and you're sitting down, and like you will never be the same again.
In fact, I think the biggest concern should be the fact that you're trusting your life on a thread. Well, it's supposed to be a very strong string thread, but the fact that you're trusting your life and then you're upside down and probably your head will just be directly above water, full of water, should be the most concerning thing. But then again, also just thinking about that doesn't deter me from just wanting to experience the thrill of that moment.
Well, the thrill is good. Yes, you'll have a story to write home. I would probably want to do it before my kids would be of age, so that they don't be like, hey, dad, hey. You know, what's you know, our dad is not as courageous, but
Oh, goodness.
but you know what? It's one of those things I would want to do. But let's see if I can. But I would also want to swim in the largest pool in the world. God willing, if that comes, I mean, I love swimming. So if I swim in that in a large pool, it would be one of the other things. At least I tried a few years ago, is at least walking in the middle of an ocean and swimming in the middle of an ocean, swimming with fish.
How did that work out? Because one, I do know how to swim.
Yes.
But always innately there is that fear of drowning every single time. I think it's because one time, okay, funny story time. When I was in class 4, I think, the whole school had a swimming competition. And Hope, being Hope, decided that she was going to represent her entire house. At that time when we have red house, blue house, you know, teams. And in front of the whole school, Hope did drowning stroke. I cannot forget that moment till date. It's still imprinted at the back of my mind. Mom, if you're watching this, you probably don't know this story. But yes, it's imprinted at the back of my mind. So till date, yes, I did learn to swim because the high school I went to, swimming was compulsory. But I am always scared. So even when I am swimming still, I am not as adventurous in the water. So I will not stay so far away from the edge. So I really want to understand, Mark, weren't you scared? It's an ocean, in fact. Aren't you even scared of sharks?
No, well, I was scared. I think the only thing that encouraged me is because we're with my friends. That's all. Because I think that adrenaline of just being in the middle of the ocean, went like on an island that had like water surrounded around it. It was just, like the island is covered with water. So so you're basically just in the middle of nowhere with this boat just anchored up. And you're like, what? And then, of course, there's, you know, the snorkeling and having fish just move around you. Like, that was an experience. I don't think I'll ever forget. But yeah, swimming for me, I love swimming, but I would love to swim in the biggest pool. I normally ask myself, yeah, I mean, this pool isn't deep enough. Yeah, just find some. So I always want to challenge myself a bit more. I know it's dangerous, but why not? Why not? But I've always also wanted to be a pilot. That was my dream career. I don't think I'm going to give up on this. Maybe not commercially, but I don't think that dream should actually, I'm going to throw it away. I feel one day probably I'll just try. At least I would want to fly a plane. Yeah, those crazy big dreams. You're like, if one day if I just feel like, hey, umekosa vitu za kufanya, so and you want to explore and journey on those crazy, you know, those things that you would want to do in your retirement. Now you see in your retirement your kids are old, so if you ukianza kuonekana like you're a coward when you're skydiving.
When you're skydiving.
hey dad, no. Having banter with your kids, I would really love that. But yeah, those are some of the things for me.
Some of the things for you. Okay, yes, KD.
I think for me, I haven't ever put together a list per se. It's just those thoughts you have in your head. Wow, I wish I could do that. So I think one of them is football, going to a team I love, a good stadium, and experience a game. I think that's one. I think the second one...
You being in the pitch yourself or just watching a game?
Watching. I can play, but I don't think I'm at that level. I think the second one would be just thinking... I was thinking about going to Israel. I don't know, there's just something about going to the place where everything in your faith started. I don't know, that's just a thought I've had in my mind. I think I also love going to... I would love to go to the best beaches in the world.
To the best beaches in the world. Wow, that sounds so nice.
Yeah, whenever I go to coast, I love walking along the beach to the ends. So I think it's something I just desire to go to another place, one I've never seen, one that has blue water and clean and everything, just a different place. And also I think natural scenery, hiking. I'm fit enough to hike, thank God. So I can do that. Yes, so, you know, cycling, I love visiting new places, and I think basically that's it. I think going to a new country. I've never gone to a new country or even gone on a plane, sadly. But thank God. I think I have a funny story. In Form 4, that's the time my parents decide, you know what, we are going to Dubai for holiday. They went on August. My exams were November. I missed out.
No.
Yeah, but
Have you ever told them that, you know what, at some point you will need to pay back that debt of taking me back to Dubai?
they owe me that debt.
They owe you that
They know
debt,
they owe
and
me
they
that
are very
debt.
well aware that.
Yeah, they are very well aware. So I think, yeah, I'd love to go to that. I love the way it's the architecture, just a modern city. So I think those are some of the things that I usually look at and I say, you know, I'd love to do that. Yeah.
That is amazing. I don't know. In fact, Dubai is one of the dream cities to visit, because I feel like the very fact that it was a whole desert of sand, and within a matter of few years, the place was completely turned around, is something really nice to look forward to. Which brings me to another thought of, have you ever thought of creating something with your own hands, right from scratch? Have you ever thought of creating something? For me, it is doing a prototype, I'd say, of a helicopter using cardboards and wire board. I don't know, there's this board that is used and wires. I would want to create that. But the challenge is the fact that I do not have an engineering background. So I want to be able to accomplish that within like the next few months. That is something I would want to create. Have you ever thought of creating something?
Well, yeah, because when I think about it, I'm like, wait, have you ever wanted to create something? I think, you see, most of the time you just want to go with that has already been created, and just move with the flow and actually just create something on your own. So, well, I feel for me it's not something I've really delved into. Probably, I think I'm just this type of person who is, I'd say, what do we call it? I don't want to say perfectionist. I like things in good order, right? And to be at a certain level and standard. So whenever I see something is not at that level, so for example, like cars, if I feel the car is at a certain level, I feel I would want to contribute to this car to get to a certain level, you know, of where it would be to my liking. So I would personally feel, for me, it would be one of those. But yeah, I think, you know, as much as I don't like cooking, I would want to actually create a new recipe for myself, like in baking. Yeah, like a new baking recipe.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Do you have an inkling or an idea of what crazy recipe you would want to create?
I don't know.
Probably a banana
but it has to have
cake.
meat.
Oh,
It has to have
meat inside. Okay.
Mint, not meat.
Mint.
Yeah, it has to have mint. As long as it has mint, I'll try A, B, C, and D. I think at that time when it comes, first of all, I need to learn first of all, and then get into actually creating new recipes, because I'm just intrigued by always just eating nice cakes, and then you actually do not know how did someone actually wake up and just make such a lovely cake. But also I've eaten some not so good cakes.
When he's describing the cake?
Also, yeah, you know, I've also experienced not good cake, and I'm like, wait, what on earth was this person thinking making this cake? So I always feel like, oh, I think I can make it even a bit better, and yeah, so probably that would be something I'd want to create. Yeah.
Something that you would want to do.
For me, I love art in terms of drawing and painting. So I've always wanted to try it out. But I don't think I am gifted in drawing. My God, I can't draw to save my life.
Wow.
Unajua wale watu wa vijiti wenye tulikuwa tunachora, I was
the
those
stick
people.
person.
Yes, me I draw stick people. But you know what? My dreams are still valid. So it's something I'd want to try, drawing and painting. And I'm also curious about, I don't know what to call it. Is it pottery? The way people make things out of mud. My God, I can sit a whole day and watch that. Like, how do you just take
Mold
mud?
something out of wet clay, you know?
You know, and it's something so beautiful and it can hold things.
That is something very interesting I've actually never thought of.
I think for me it's two. Obviously, when we were children, we used to want to create these amazing things. I remember for me, for example, I used to love there's these machines that smash atoms and to create new pieces. So when I saw it for the first time in class 7,
yeah, this is somebody in the techno field that is speaking. Yes, people.
Interesting.
I was fascinated by the atomic stuff. So whenever I saw it, I was like, wow, I'd love to do that, but the logistics is a bit unrealistic for Kenya. So I think that I've shifted. Since I'm learning programming, I'm trying to get to a place I can make my first program. I'm still a beginner, so I'm slowly going there. But because I also love media, I've wanted to create a film about Kenya in a beautiful, high-quality video. Like these videos you see about other parts of the world. You know, do one for a Kenyan scenery or Nairobi or, yeah, because I have that gifting, so I'd love to really do that and show how beautiful my country is, yeah.
That's amazing. Now, we are mentioning all of these big ideas and dreams and some of the habits we want to start cultivating. What does it take to be able to do that? It takes a lot of hard work, it takes a lot of discipline. But let's really delve so much and dwell on the discipline part. How do you cultivate discipline? For you, Mark, it's now you have identified that you want to start baking. How then do you think you can be disciplined enough, to be able to achieve that?
No, you see, discipline is one of those hard things that you can cultivate for anything, for just anything. And I mean, I'll use the journey that really worked for me, especially while I was when I started working out, like seriously, there's this working out once in a while, but like when I was serious about it, I said I want to commit myself this month faithfully every day. I'm going to work, yes. I'm going to church on a Sunday. I'm going for Bible studies. I'm going for, I have all these meetings. I'm going to sleep less hours, but I'm going to commit myself for this 1 month to actually daily do this, to develop the discipline. Well, the first 5 days, goodness, I couldn't move. I was just paralyzed for some reason, because my bodies were in shock, utter shock, and I shocked them because I actually went, I think, 9 kilometers for those days. So it was like. So
you didn't ease into it. You just went all out.
It was a culture shock for my system. But I think, to be honest, I think it helped me develop the discipline in the sense that, yes, I don't do it daily, but I actually developed an understanding of why do I actually need this. I developed, because I started seeing the benefits in myself, and then I started noticing, oh yeah, but then this is actually very important. And now, for example, now in baking and what I want to actually do in the baking, I feel, of course, I need to start with, first of all, being taught. I need to be intentional about that. The intentionality is actually really key, because along the way you feel tired, you feel worn out and all that. But I think I need to see, I have to realize, what do I want at the end of it? Why am I doing this in the first place? Once I realize why I actually want to bake, of course, and where the end goal is, and start driving towards that intentionally, waking up if it needs to wake up, push myself to buy some of the products, because you see, you need to spend as well. You need to be willing to spend your own money to put in. So if you're not willing to, spend your money, your time, your energy and effort into this, then into something that you're really passionate about or you want to actually achieve, then it's not going to work out. So yeah, I think that's really a strategy that I would want to do. But I think for me, ultimately, I'm just going to trust God as well for also that grace. Because sometimes you just need grace to actually handle some certain things. And God is able to give us strength and give us just enough grace to handle a certain season, certain time, and something. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Kisha.
Well, for me, if I'm actually serious about developing that desire of drawing and painting into something substantial. I would have to look for classes. you know, but we thank God for School of YouTube, you know. I'll just, I definitely go there, look for beginner classes for drawing. I definitely look for an artist, both an artist who can draw and a painter. Are they called painters? I feel like painter ni ya kupaint nyumba.
No,
but someone who for real,
yeah, I think
really,
they are.
or they're just artists.
Something for
You
us to think
specialize
about.
in drawing or
Yeah,
in
I think
painting?
it's artist.
Well, I look for both, and you know, have someone who is mentoring me on that journey. Yeah, I think that's what I'd do, and also making time for it. You know, I decide every day I have to draw for an hour to start. Yeah, so that's how I go perfecting the art.
Perfecting the art.
So I guess it's all about looking for means to grow the skill, finding a mentor, and also the practical part. You have to practice to become perfect.
Practice to become perfect.
Yes.
KB?
I think, practicing to become perfect is a big part of it. I did 2 books during quarantine that talked about 2 very vital things. There's one called Career Capital, which is when you start something, don't start shifting your skills. You'll never have enough time to specialize in one thing. And then there's another Christian who wrote this book. It's called The Proximity Principle. It's what she's saying. Go near people who are actually doing what you want to do.
Want to do.
Yeah, so I've been trying to incorporate these 2 things into programming, into my schoolwork. And I think the biggest part is divide the work so that it fits a day at a time. You can't start today and be an expert tomorrow.
That is true.
Yeah,
so patience also as you are waiting to be able to become better.
Yeah, so it's daily discipline, as Mark is saying. Whenever you slack, you feel so bad. There's this feeling of, I've just wasted myself today. I think, but the Lord just encourages us, you know, day to day to continue to push forward, plan well. I think these are the things that are sort of underrated in the faith, the nitty-gritty things of everyday planning, organizing your time, putting schedules in place that allow us to just, if we have set out to do something, we make sure that every day we are just putting in something small. And even when we make mistakes, it's not the end of the world. There's no condemnation. Just start where you are, learn, and then just keep moving. But discipline is very vital. Discipline, focus. Just put your all into what you're doing.
I actually like that. I like what the last part that you have talked about. Even if you do make a mistake once, it's okay, and you can be able to retrace your footsteps, right? Because I feel like, especially for some of the healthy habits I've wanted to recreate, I don't even think I'm alone in this, is when I miss out or have a misstep once, I reschedule it for another time, and I'm like, I will start all over again next month. You know, so I keep on postponing it, and then I find that a long time has gone by and I haven't really accomplished anything, you know? So guys, this is what we are talking about when it comes to cultivating healthy habits. Some of the things that we would want to do, it's okay to just have a bucket list of some of the things you have wanted to achieve, some of the things you want to try out. And the most important thing in being able to achieve this is being disciplined. And discipline can only be attained when we are patient and just giving ourselves time to be able to get better at what we are doing, and the patience to be able to retract our steps and go back to be able to start again on course and doing the right thing, and also to just keep at it and working hard. Remember, as always, we encourage you and invite you to come and chill at Asiana Gardens, where we get to be hosted and have an amazing time chilling and relaxing here at Life Chat. Till next week, God bless you and take care.